my little friend Gallup wants, I don't know, he wants things to be easier. So one of his possible motives is ease. One of his possible motives is love of family. One of his possible motives isn't money. He paid $25 million almost for the properties I'm going to buy for $16 million. He certainly wants to be out from under the lawsuit he has with Bank of America. Safety and security. These are the things that I'm going to give him. I'm going to buy for him safety, security, and a one-way ticket to New York City, or to Scarsdale, New York, for $16 million. If I can get him to sit still and sign papers. But I never talk about the price anymore. I don't talk about the terms anymore. He knows what all those are. And we didn't start out talking about price and terms. Every time he saw me for over a month, he would say, "Are you going to buy the building?" I said, "Geez, I don't know. I don't know if I can afford it. But I'd sure like to. I'd like to help you get back home." So he kept coming back. Wow, he might help me to get home. Negotiating is an emotional business. I need to really get. Have you ever heard the phrase "spit and whittle"? When I first came to Florida, I met a guy who was a spitter and a whittler. That was his profession. He'd ride out to he was trying to assemble a 1,000-acre tract for wet irrigation. And I said, "What do you do for a living?" He said, "I'm a spit and whittler." I said, "What does that mean?" He says, "I sit on the porch of these ranch houses, and I spit, and I whittle, and I rock, and I talk to them. And after a while, they get around to trusting me. And a little while after that, I try to buy their land. Sometimes I'm successful, and sometimes I'm not, but I never feel like I've completely quit. I get to go back and back and back, because by that time, they know me, and they like me, and they trust me." He would come. So when you're negotiating, you open the session by saying, "Tell me, how in the world did you get involved in this property in the first place?" When I met Leonard Marks, the guy that owned the leasehold that controlled this building for a long time, 25 years, I said, "How in the world did you ever get started in the real estate business?" And he talked for 2 hours. Here's a guy, graduated from Yale in 1925, I think. I think that's right. Graduated from Yale in 1925. No, it can't be. Maybe 1930. He graduated from Yale when he was 25. And when I met him, he was 97. And I met him in 1998, I think. No, 1998? 1998, I think. So how old, what year did he graduate from Yale? 1931? Okay. When I met him, he graduated from Yale. He said he graduated in Yale in 1925 and came directly to New York City and had worked in the real estate business from that time to this. That's the way he put it to me. So let's see, he was there in 31, and I was speaking to him in 1998, I guess. How long had he been in the real estate business? 67 years? 57? 31, 98, 67 years. 67 years. Huh? It was a long time. He'd been in the real estate business, and he had been partners with Tishman and partners with Fred Trump and partners with Paul Benenson, a multiple billionaire, and was at that instant partners with Paul Benenson, whom he introduced me to while he was still alive. And he talked for like 2.5 hours before we ever got to talking about why I had come to see him. I said, "How in the world did you ever get started?" And he told me pretty much his life story. Crazy. And I had to, of course, be a good listener, because he was talking a lot. But every once in a while I had to make a contribution, He would say, "No, he would go on for on." And so when he slowed down, I would say, "My goodness, how did that happen?" And he'd talk for another 20 minutes. I'd say, no kidding. He says, no kidding. He says, most people wouldn't believe this, but for another 20 or 30 minutes. And I would nod, and he would go on for another 20 minutes. It was fascinating. He told his lawyer 2 or 3 days later, you need to talk to that guy. He's the best real estate guy I ever met. I bet I didn't say 100 words to him in 4 hours. Yes. So I need to keep quiet a lot. I need to be real quiet.